Some of the worst words that you'll ever hear in this world are they lost their son. They lost their daughter. Having officiated the funeral of a 29-year-old son and a 21-year-old son and an infant son, I can tell you there's no words that bring comfort. There's no words that ease the pain. There's just deep, aching sorrow. And we find these words penned down in Luke chapter 7. And it's not just a mom who's lost her son. It's a widow who has lost her only son. And if you pause and you allow yourself to actually feel these words, you begin to feel how dark and dire the situation actually is. It's a woman who's familiar with death. She's lost her husband. And now she's not just lost a son, she's lost an only son. There are no words to describe the pain and the grief and the emptiness and the void that she must be feeling right now. We have words for people who've lost their spouse, widow and widower. And we have words for children who've lost their parents, orphan. But we don't have any words for someone who's lost their child because it's just tragic. There are no words to describe it. There are no words to describe the pain. And as Jesus approaches Nain, he sees all of this unfolding. He sees the funeral procession leaving the city gates. He sees the widow weeping uncontrollably, and with compassion that only Jesus can muster up. Jesus goes up to her, putting his hand, I'm sure, on her shoulder or around her side. Woman, don't cry. And then he steps up to the funeral pyre where this young man lay dead. And he looks at the young man and he says, "Get up. Young man, get up." And the young man rises and begins talking to everyone around him. It was a sight to behold. But I tend to think the story may have gone just a little different than what was recorded in Scripture. I remember at my very first funeral for this 21-year-old, I was one of the last people in the room with the mom and the dad. And the mom, after everyone had left, throws herself on the casket and just begins crying out, "Why? Why?" And it took the breath out of me. It broke my heart. I imagine that what actually happened on this day when Jesus raised this young man back to life, I think the mom threw herself over the funeral pyre, and was screaming shouts of joy, shouts of relief from what she had been freed from the void, the emptiness, the sadness, the despair, the sorrow. And it's in this moment that we have to ask who Jesus is and what the real miracle was that day. The biggest miracle wasn't that Jesus had raised someone back from the dead, and that's an incredible miracle. No, it was Jesus reuniting a dead son with his mom. And that's the image of the kingdom. That's what heaven is. There's no better image. So who is Jesus? He's the one who takes dead sons and places them back in the lives of their mothers. He's the one who takes relationships which have been destroyed by death and he puts it all back together again. He's the one who takes the addict who is on the brink of death and saves them from the grave. Jesus is the one who takes death and despair and he breathes life into it, because that's who Jesus is.